So welcome everyone, and wish you all a happy new year where you become new. The calendar has become new, and if you remain old, it makes it's no fun. So the calendar is new and you also become new with new zeal, new enthusiasm, new inspirations. Okay, let's start the new year. So before we understand the tongue diagnosis, it is extremely crucial that we are good with the fundamentals. Okay, those who are strong with the fundamentals, they will become a good therapist. And those who are good, strong in pattern recognition. So we have about 100 patterns, standard patterns in TCM. And the more strong you are in recognizing them and in understanding them, the better the therapist you will become. Okay. So this class, I will try to get all the fundamentals stuff. Just give a brief about the fundamentals so that you are able to grasp, and then we will go through the tongue diagnosis class. I would highly recommend that you make notes while you are listening to the class, because you will miss out on many things if you don't make notes. So human body is made out of 5 elements. All of us know. So Ayurveda lists those 5 elements as Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, and Prithvi. Okay, that is space, air, fire, water, and earth. Okay. So these are the 5 elements. And how you group them. So depending on how you group those 5 elements, different combinations, okay, there is 3 different subgroups. Okay, so when you group Akash and Vayu, it gives you Vat. Okay, so when you combine Agni and Jal, it gives you Pit. And when you combine Jal and Prithvi, it gives you Kaph. Okay, so Vat, Pit, Kaph is a different combinations of those 5 elements. And similarly in TCM, okay, we also have 5 elements. Okay, so some elements are different. Okay, so the elements in TCM are wood, fire, metal, earth, and water. Okay, and its relative energies are wind, heat, dryness, humidity, and coolness. So this, I believe most of you know. So how have the TCM philosophers grouped them? It is, so if you group wood, fire, and metal, these 3 things put together, they are called yang. And earth and water put together, they have called it as yin. Okay, this is my way of understanding things. I have not come across this in this format in any books. Okay, it's just that I have tried to understand it and give a comparative study between Ayurveda and TCM, because it helps you to understand the subject much easier. Okay, it will make your understanding very, very easy. Okay, let's say we will try to take some examples and we will try to understand this yin and yang. Okay, and because this is the foundation on which you will build your TCM knowledge. If this has to be super strong. Okay, we will try to take some examples. Let's take roti, okay, or chapati. There is a soft roti and there is a hard roti. Which roti is more yin and which roti is more yang?
Soft roti is yin and hard roti is yang.
Why?
Because female nature is soft, male is hard. And
no. Your answer is right, but the reasoning is wrong.
In the soft roti, the content of water is more comparatively.
Yeah.
So it's yin. And in hard roti, there is a lot of dryness.
Yes. Good.
So, yeah.
So soft roti, what is more? Water is more, right? In comparison, in relative. So water is more in soft roti. So if these two things become more in any object, so it becomes more yin. Okay. And if these three becomes more in any object, they become more yang. This is one way of seeing. There are many different ways, but we will try to get only what is useful to us at this point of time. Okay. In soft roti, water is more. So it is more yin in nature, soft in nature. Whereas in a dry roti, dryness is more. So it is more yang in nature. Okay, now let's take another example. There is one roti is hot, just out of tawa. And there is another roti which is cold. So hot roti and cold roti.
Hot
So-
roti yang or cold roti in?
Yes. In.
Yeah.
In.
Okay. So hot roti is what in nature?
Yang in nature.
Why?
Because
Fire or heater now.
Fire element. Fire
Hmm.
element is
Yeah. So in a hot roti, fire is more. It's hot. So it is yang in nature. Okay. Whereas in cold roti, what is there? Coldness is more. Right? So it is more yin in nature. Okay. So this is how we can understand more yang and yin. So there is many different ways to understand. So let us try to understand this yin and yang a little bit in more detail. So this is, let's say, yang, and this is yin, and both yin plus yang put together is qi, which is equal to yang plus yin. Okay. So you would have heard, many of you would have heard, at least those who have completed your second semester would have heard about the different patterns, which you call it as key deficiency, right? So what is key deficiency? So for an organ to function, let's say heart is supposed to function and it requires this much amount of key to function well. So instead of this much key, if it has only this much key, what do you say? It is key is deficient in heart. Okay, because the amount of energy is less. So if this is the situation in the heart, so what has happened? This much key is less. So this situation, we call it as key deficiency. Okay. So this everybody understood? So now what is to be noted is in key deficiency, there is still the ratio of yang and yin is the same, like 50-50, right? So the ratio of yang and yin is still the same. But when this ratio of yang and yin becomes less, if the ratio of yang and yin changes, okay, so let's say it is up at this level. Now, let's say here the key is yang is 5, yin is also 5. Okay. So now Qi is equal to Yang plus Yin. So that is 5 plus 5. So Qi is equal to 10 in the first case. In the second case, what has happened? Say Yang is 4 and say Yin is also 4. Okay. So now how much is the Qi? Qi is equal to 4 plus 4, which is equal to 8. So the Qi has reduced. Now, so what is to be noted? The ratio of Yin and Yang. So, but once the ratio of Yin and Yang changes, then we start seeing a different type of deficiency. Here, let's say now Yang is 4, but the Yin has become 3. The ratio of Yin has become. So now here what has become? So now here Qi is equal to 4 plus 3. So Qi is equal to 7. But what is happening? Yin is less than Yang. So what do we call this as?
Yin deficient.
We call this as Yin
Yin deficiency.
deficiency. Okay. Okay. Now similarly, if it was, say, like this. Now Yang becomes 3 and Yin remains 4. So here also what is that? Qi is equal to 4 plus 3, which is equal to 7. But here, what do we call this as? This situation, Yang is deficient. Okay. This is clear to everyone? Huh? Tell yes, no.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Apart from Yang deficiency, also Qi deficiency also is there, no? Qi
What?
deficiency is there.
Yeah,
Qi deficiency also is there, no?
yeah, that is what I told. Key deficiency. This is key deficiency. And this is normal. Okay. Let me see. So, how many of you did not understand? How many of you did
Can
not?
we say that the Yang axis also in first one?
No.
Yin
So
def-
here, can you say Yang excess in this one? Can you say Yang excess in this one?
No, sir.
Why?
Because Yang remained in the
No.
same.
Same at the same level. It's at 4, so it's 4. Yin has reduced.
Yang, we can't say Yang excess because what is the normal range? 5.
5 plus 5 is 10.
No. Okay, so normal range of Yang should be 5. But here, what is it? Less than 5. Right? So can we say Yang excess? Grahavardhan.
Yes, sir.
No, right? We cannot say. So, but we can say Yin deficient. Yin is deficient in relation to Yang. That is why it is.
So ratio will not change. If Yin will be deficient, then we can't say the Yang axis. Huh? You are saying that like that.
We don't say, like, as we go further, you will understand the nomenclature of, say, I'll tell you what you are asking for. So this is normal. Okay. Now, if a situation becomes like this, so in this situation, we can say
Yang excess.
yang is more, but we don't have any yang excess situation protocols. We say fire is more. Okay, let's say in stomach, if this becomes a situation in stomach, what do we say? We say stomach
Heat.
heat is more.
Okay.
Okay, if the same situation happens in heart, what do we call? We call it as heart fire. If the same situation happens in liver, we call it as liver heat. Okay. So if the same situation happens in large intestine, we call it as large intestine hotness. Okay. So this is the different way of saying. So the situation is, it has crossed the line and become more than that. Grahavardhan. You
Yes, sir,
understand?
got it. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
now
Yeah.
if the situation is different, let's say if the situation is so here in this situation, what is more? Yin is more, right? So what do we call this situation? Like where there is more yin, like coldness is more. So we have, say, if the coldness is more in stomach, we call this as stomach coldness. Or if the coldness is more in, let's say, lungs, external attack of coldness on lungs. So what do we say? Wind, cold attack on lungs. Okay. Or coldness in LI. Okay. So these are the kind of situations. Okay. Everybody is clear with this? Yin yang.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many of you did not understand?
Sir, if excess of yin is more in liver, what will say, sir?
There is that situation that is not there. Generally, it is keys, keys excess in that. So, or blood is deficient, or
Okay.
yin is deficient. We don't have excess of yin in liver.
Okay.
So how do we understand key excess, sir?
Excess key? Yeah, hold
Yeah.
on. Somebody asked some question. So key excesses, only in, I think, small intestine we have this situation, say where it is let's say yang is 6, yin is also 6. This is the situation of excess key. Make sense?
Yes, sir. But key excess means what? Is it heat more, cold? In sense, in
No.
yin you said it is coldness more. And In yang, it is
It
heat.
is neither heat is more or cold is more. Both together as a ratio, it is more. Say you are supposed to eat this much amount of food.
Hmm.
Food is key, right? So, but instead of this much food, you ate this much of food. So, when you ate this much of food, what happened in your intestine?
It bloats up.
Qi became
Blotting.
more. Qi became, you gave too much of qi to your digestive system. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Grahavardhan, are you understanding?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. So we are not relating the yin yang deficiency. I mean, yang is more in this example, and yin is more. So it doesn't relate with the yang organs or yin organs. It may be in both the organs, both types of organs.
Like qi becomes
Suppose this,
more in
you
yang
have
organ
given
and
the
qi becomes more in yin organ. What is that? Is that what you're asking?
yeah. For example, just you told that if yang is more, then stomach heat more, heart fire, liver heat, large intestine hotness. So all these organs also cover the yang organs and yin organs.
Yeah.
Got my point? Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
So it can be in yin. See, yang can become more in a yang organ and also in a yin organ.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay.
And the same is with the yin. The coldness can become more in the yin organ as well as a yang organ. Okay.
Right.
No such thing.
Right.
Okay, so what is the main difference when yin is less? Okay, we'll go back to here. So in this condition, so when yin is deficient, what does the person feel?
It's cold.
Hot. No, they'll feel hot.
See this, yang. What is in relatively, what is more? Yang is more, right?
Yang is more.
So yang
Yes,
is
sir.
what? Yang is what? Yang
Heat.
is
Heat.
yang is fire. So because yin is deficient, they will feel in relatively yang is more. So they will feel more hot in this situation. Okay. Whereas in yang deficiency, so yang is fire, fire is less, but in yin, what is there? Coldness is more. In yang deficiency, heat is less and coldness is more. So what they will feel? They will feel more
Cold.
they will feel more. They will feel more cold. Yang is what?
Yes.
Fire. Yin is what? Coldness. Okay. Okay. So now just see this. Fire and cold. So which is more here? In yin deficiency, fire is more. So in yin deficiency, the person will feel more hot. And in this situation, what is more? Yin, cold is more and fire is less. So in yang deficiency, they will feel more cold. Is it making sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only 2 people told yes out of
Yes, sir.
yeah.
In key deficiency.
Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
In key deficiency, what will happen? There is no imbalance of heat and cold. Only the functioning is less. Right? Say they were supposed to say when the heart is properly functioning, they can climb, let's say 4 stairs, like 4 floors. They can easily climb. But when the ki is deficient, so they can only climb 3 floors comfortably, and the 4th floor will become little difficult for them, right? So they don't feel neither cold, neither hot, but their functioning ability will reduce slightly. That is ki deficiency. Along with that, functioning has become reduced. Say they're now able to only climb 3 floors, but along with that, they feel more cold in hands. So what has happened? Along with the ki being reduced, the balance between the yin and yang also has shifted. So they are feeling more cold. Means what situation?
Yang deficient.
Heart yang deficiency, right? The yang in the heart is reducing along with the ki. So we call that situation, the first situation, they are neither feeling hot or cold, but only they are able to climb. Where do I write it? Okay. So earlier they were able to walk 4 floors. Now from 4 floors, they are able to climb to only 3 floors. But their ratio of hot and cold is okay, like it is in balance. So we call this situation as ki deficiency, right? And now they are able to walk for 3 floors, but they are feeling more cold. What do we call this situation as in heart?
Deficient. Yang deficient.
Yang deficiency.
Heart yang deficiency. So cold is more. So cold is more. Heart yang deficiency. Now the same thing. Let's say they are able to walk 3 floors, but they are feeling more hot. What do we call this situation as? Heart
Yin deficiency.
Yin
Yin deficiency. Right? You're able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clearer? Becoming more clear?
Yes,
It's
sir.
becoming more clear, sir.
Excellent.
Acha.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sir, does that mean yin and yang deficiency can be possible only when there is a key deficiency, only after that? So whenever does that mean that whenever we are identifying yin deficiency or yang deficiency, it is an understood fact that the key is already deficient? I mean, am I putting it
In
right?
general, you are right.
Okay.
First key deficiency happens and then the yang or yin deficiency happens.
Yeah, thank you.
Fine. So everybody is clear with this yin and yang business. So this is only a small part. So now, so what did we understand so far? We have understood.
Normal normal key means key will be in a normal state. If it is less yang and less yin, then the key will be in a deficient. That is, little of key will be less. When we go to the yang deficiency, the key will be key will be less in yang and more in yin. Then it is called as yang deficiency. Is it right, sir?
I did not
So
follow.
confusion, sir.
No. Okay. So these 4 situations we have understood, right? Where normal state, what is happening? Both yin and yang are balanced. Okay. Key deficiency, instead of this, it is small. Okay. But still the ratio of yin and yang are 50-50. Okay. So now yang deficiency is, this is normal, but it has become like this. Okay. Yang less. Okay, this is normal. Okay. And yin deficiency is, let's say this is normal, and the situation has become
In less.
yin is less. Okay. This much is clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
I should get a good, loud and clear
Yes, sir.
yes from everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yang deficiency and deficiency both in the case of the Ki deficiency.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Nice.
Yes, I got it.
What is, no, somebody was asking a question. What is it?
No, sir, clear. Thank you.
Clear? Fine. Okay. Now there was another situation. Okay. We will discuss little bit more of the same thing with a different perspective, and we'll try to understand full heat. So we will try to understand full heat, empty heat, okay, and full cold versus empty cold. Okay. Let's take a normal situation. Let's take an analogy. Okay. So let's take a container, and let's say we have say 10 units of water. And we have so let's say we have 10 units of fire. Okay. So we are basically trying to boil the water. Okay. So 10 units of water is being boiled by 10 units of fire, and it is getting boiled in 10 minutes. Okay. So 10 minutes boiling time. So this is a normal condition. Okay. So now with this, we will try to create different permutation and combinations. So what we can do, we can keep water as constant and either increase or decrease fire. Okay. Or we can keep this as constant, fire as constant, increase or decrease water. Okay. So this will give us 4 different conditions. So that is So now what we will do in the first situation, we will keep the water as same, say 10 units. But what we will do, we will double the fire. Okay, we will make the fire as 20 units. So we will make the fire as 20 units. Okay, double the fire. So water will boil in how many minutes now?
Half the time.
So it will boil in 5 minutes, right? The water will boil in 5 minutes. Clear? So here, what are we doing? Water is constant, water is normal, fire is more. Okay. So now we will take another condition. So now we will reduce the water into half. Okay. So we will make this as 5 units. And we will keep the fire same. Okay. So it is 10. So now water will boil in how many minutes?
Again, 5 minutes.
Right. Boiling time is still fire is normal, but we have reduced the water, so it will boil fast. In the first condition, we increase the fire, so the water boiled faster. But in the second condition, we reduce the water and kept the fire normal, so still it will boil fast. So here, what is the condition that we are having? Water less and fire normal. Okay. So what do we call this situation in TCM? We call this situation as
Yin deficiency.
full heat, because the actual heat is more, right? And what do we call this situation as in TCM? We call this as empty heat. Here, in both the situation, the water is boiling fast, but in the first situation, the boiling is fast because the fire is more, and in the second situation, the boiling is fast because water is less. These two are different situations, but the result is the same. The water is boiling fast, but because of two different reasons. Okay, so here the reason is the fire is more, and we call this as full heat. And in the second situation, it is water is less, and we call this as empty heat. So what is the solution in the first situation? And what is the solution in the second situation?
First, reduce heat, and the second, increase water.
Yes. So reducing the heat is the solution for the first situation, and the solution for the second is increase water. Okay. So everybody understood full heat and empty heat?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir, very clearly.
Out of 70 people, 67 people, some 4 people told yes. What about others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, no, why are you so stingy in telling yes? Either click yes, but no thumbs up button, or type yes, say yes. If your if your video is on, nod, do something. No, I can understand. Okay. How many of you did not understand? How many of you did not understand?
Sir, can I ask you one small doubt, like in Kannada?
Yeah, ask me.
ಇವಾಗ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ, 10 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೀಟ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಫೈರ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆನೆ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ?
See, normal, no? This is normal. Fire here, what is the normal?
10 ಯೂನಿಟ್.
So I'm here also keeping the same normal, 10 units.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. But we are taken 5 unit of water.
Yeah, that is the change. Something should change. So here I have changed the water. In the first situation, I have changed the fire.
Oh, fire. Okay, sir. Got it now.
Okay. So,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
so we will take the other situation. So in the other situation, we will double the water. Okay. And keep the fire. So water is 20 units. And we will keep the fire the same, 10 units. Okay. So now what is happening here? Water is more and fire is normal. Okay. And in the other situation, what we will do? We will keep the water normal. So we will keep water as 10, but we will reduce the fire. We will keep the fire to 5 units. So here water is equal to normal and fire is less. Okay. So now in TCM, what do we call this situation? The third situation.
So full cold.
So
Full
it is called as full
coldness.
cold. And the fourth situation is called as
Empty cold.
empty cold. Okay. So what is the solution here? In the third situation, what is the solution that we have to do?
Reduce coldness.
Water.
Reduce coldness.
Yeah. Reduce
Coldness.
water or coldness. And in the fourth, what is the solution?
Increase the heat.
Fire.
Increase the
Increase fire.
fire.
Yes.
Increase heat.
Increase fire. So in both third situation and fourth situation, the person will feel cold. But the reason for cold is different. In the third situation, the actual coldness is more. No, the water is more. But in the fourth situation, the fire in the person is less. That is why the person is feeling cold. In the first and second situation, the person will feel hot. And in third and fourth situation, the person will feel more cold. The reason for hot and reason for cold is different. In the first situation, the fire is more, hence the person is feeling more hot. And in the second situation, the water is less, hence the person is feeling more hot. In the third situation and fourth situation, they are feeling cold. But the reason in third is the water is more, hence they are feeling more cold. But in the fourth situation, the fire is less, hence they are feeling more cold. Okay. So here the boiling time will be is equal to in 20 minutes. Here also boiling is minutes. Okay. What is another name for this empty heat? And another name for this empty heat is
Yin deficiency.
okay. Yin is what? Water. Water is yin, right? Yin is what? Water.
Yes, yes, sir.
Water and earth, humidity.
Yeah.
Or-
So in this example, it is, let's say, water. Yin is water. So in this situation, what is less? The water is less. So the yin is less. So we call this as yin deficiency. Okay. And what do we call another name for empty cold? So we call this as,
Yang deficiency.
we call this as
Yang deficiency.
yang deficiency. Why? Why do we call this as yang deficiency?
So because basically the heat is
Fire
less.
Heat.
Heat
Fire
is
less.
less.
Yeah.
Heat is less due to yang deficiency.
Because what is yang? Fire is yang. For this example, and that fire is what happening? It is less. So it should have been 10, but it is 5. Okay. So you understand full heat, empty heat, full cold and empty cold situations? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely right.
Okay.
So
Yes,
can I add a
Can we,
this thing here?
Somebody else
Sir,
wanted to add
Yeah,
something.
I just wanted to add a thing. Just let me know if I'm understanding it right. Like, can we correlate full heat and full cold to the external situations like the summer and the winter, and empty heat and empty cold to the internal deficiency? That is the heat and cold, if it is reducing, irrespective, matlab, like it is the summer we take, the external temperature is also rise and it is hot, but at that time, if internally, I mean, also my this thing is still reduced, my what do you call, coldness
I
is
understand.
reduced.
Fine.
Nahi.
So to in a basic
Yeah,
way of understanding, yes, but not fully.
always.
Okay. Say somebody is getting angry.
Mhm.
Okay. They are feeling lot of anger. So because of that anger, what will happen inside of the body?
Heat will increase.
heat
will
more, heat more.
Increase it.
Yeah, the heat in the body will increase. And say in the liver, there is more heat.
Mhm.
So which situation will it fall out of the 4?
This is yang excess.
Full heat.
It is
Liver.
mean,
full heat.
Heat. Full heat.
Full heat,
heat.
right?
Full
The,
heat.
the
Full
fire is more. The fire is more not because of the external temperature, but because of the internal anger.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
And say somebody ate lot of spicy stuff. and the heat in their stomach increased, or the heat in their large intestine increased. So what is that situation out of the four
That
situations?
would be
Empty,
Empty heat.
Why empty
No,
heat?
that is also full heat.
That is also
again
full heat.
heat.
Full
The-
full heat, sir.
Full heat.
The heat is
The
coming
heat has
from
increased
excess
inside the
of
body. Inside.
spicy food. So
Correct,
that is
correct.
full heat.
Full
Okay.
heat. Full
And
heat.
somebody, their water content in the body is less. Say when somebody is driving a car, there is a radiator, right? In the radiator, there is water trying to cool the engine. So if the water in the radiator goes down, what happens to the engine's heat?
It ceases.
Empty heat.
Ceases to work. Empty heat.
It increases. So that situation is called as
Correct. Empty heat.
empty heat. Right?
Empty
Here somebody's water content, say in the kidney, is less. And now they are feeling that whole body is kind of burning. Their feet are burning, no? They can't go out in the sun, no? Constantly they want to be, they want to keep the fan on, or they want to sit next to the window. What is this situation out of the four situations?
Yin deficiency. Empty
Again
heat.
empty heat.
It is
Empty
heat. That is heat. Everybody feels normal, but this person is feeling hot, because the water content in their body is less.
Less.
Reduced.
Okay, so if the water content in the kidney is less, we call this as
Indeficiency. I mean empty heat.
if the water content is less in the, let's say, in kidney, so we call this as kidney deficiency. So if the water content is less in heart, we call this as heart deficiency. If the water content is less in lungs, we call it as lungs deficiency. Okay. So similarly in the fourth situation here, so if the fire is less, if the fire is less in somebody in kidney, we call it as kidney
Yang
Yang
deficiency.
deficiency.
Kidney yang deficiency.
yang deficiency. So if the fire is less in heart, so we call it as heart
yang deficiency.
yang deficiency. So if the
Lungs.
if the fire is less in spleen, we call it as spleen
yang deficiency.
yang deficiency. Okay. Okay. In the first situation, the fire is more. So if the fire is more in heart, we call it as heart fire blazing. Okay, heart fire. So if the fire is more in liver, just give me a moment. Okay. So if the fire is more in liver, we call it as liver fire. If the fire is more in stomach, we call it as stomach heat.
Heat.
Okay. So similarly, if the heat is more in SI, small intestine, we call it as small intestine heat. If it is in large intestine, we call it as large intestine hotness. Okay. So full cold now in the third situation. So actual cold is more. Okay. So what are the situations that we get in full cold?
Wind cold attack on lung.
Yeah. So let us say if somebody ate too much of ice cream, so and all that coldness goes into the stomach. So we have stomach coldness. Okay. And somebody went into the cold weather without having any jacket or something. Okay. So the cold attacks them. So we call it as wind cold attack on lungs. Okay. And
So, damp cold on spleen. That's wearing damp clothes in a damp weather.
yeah, that also we can say. So if somebody spend lot of time in swimming pool and the cold entered through their large intestine, let's say, then they have large intestine coldness, etc., 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 etc. Okay. So you are understanding this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So, can I have one more clarity? Can I ask a question?
Okay, I will get to your question later. How about others? It is a very disappointing. Yes, only 4 people.
Yes.
Very
Clear,
good.
sir.
I got it.
Yes,
Clear
yes,
as in clear.
Better standing.
Okay. Some 10, 20, 10, 15 people told. What about others?
So it's not so clear, sir.
Okay, who is that? Who told?
Sheetal.
Sheetal. What is not clear?
I mean, I
You are
can
in which
understand.
semester?
First semester, sir.
Okay, don't worry. So you make notes, and by the time you come 3rd, 4th semester, you will start understanding. Because you would not understand any of these things, whatever I have written in green, right? So these nomenclatures you will not understand. All of this is
Yeah,
taught in
because somewhere
second
it is
semester.
fire is blazing, somewhere is heat, somewhere it is hotness.
Yeah. So all of that, don't worry, it is all in all the places. The heat is more. The way it is told is different. No, don't worry about that for now.
And so one more thing I wanted to ask you, that external condition you were talking about, if a person is having too much of anger, so is that an external condition or an internal condition?
It can be both. So if somebody is having too much of spicy food, their tendency to become angry will be more. Okay. And if somebody's anger is already more, they will feel hot in body. So if somebody becomes unnecessarily angry too much, so it is both, no? It is like a loop, closed loop. This will feed to this and that will feed to this.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other question?
Sir, like there should be a sequence now. First, there would be always a key, some key deficiency. Then it will lead to some. So, is there any sequence as the disease flows?
Yeah, generally, see, so first they will have key deficiency. And from there, they will have, it is not necessary in all the times. Okay, it is, I'm just giving you a very brief thing. Okay. Yang deficiency they can have. So third, they can have yin deficiency. Okay. So this is a very generic flow. Okay. So sometimes we also have key deficiency. So we have key sinking. Then we have first, second, third. So it can flow in this way also. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, what is the difference between deficiency and sinking, sir? Both are same, like, no, sir?
See, it is this deficiency is at a first level. Say there is a meridian which is flowing. Okay. So if the amount of water, let's say it is supposed to be this normal level. So if the amount of water is this much, so we say normal. And if the water is, let's say, this much, we say deficiency. If the water is, let's say, the water is this much, we say sinking. Water is this much, we call it as sinking. Okay. So this is normal. This is deficiency. This is sinking. And this is
Collapse.
okay. Clear?
Sir, anything like the organs will also flow like this? First, it would be kidney yin, then it would be heart yin. Is there any flow in that also? Like,
There is lot of flows. You will understand this. You are in which semester?
Semester 5.
Semester 5. No, if you understand more, no, if you read the treatises, etc., there are different flows. Okay, there are many things. Okay. Any other question?
Sir, about the yang, this one, like density also, it will be in the same thing.
What?
Density of the yang and yin. When we see in the density concept, yang and yin will be same like this only.
No, okay.
As you explained.
See, yang and yin can be associated with so many things. Say you are asking about density. Say more dense is what? And less dense. More dense is what? Yin or yang?
In, sir, more in.
In.
More the denser, the more yin in nature. Less the denser it is
Less in.
less yin or yang. Okay. So now what all did we learn? We learned. What did we learn? Learning. We learned key deficiency. We learned yang deficiency. We learned yin deficiency. We learned what is full heat versus empty heat. We understood full cold versus empty cold. What else did we learn? We learned about key deficiency, key sinking, and key collapse. What else did we learn? Okay.
So you were talking about key access, no, sir? Access key.
Yeah. So excess
How do you-
key.
Yeah.
What is that? Repeat the question. What about excess key?
No, how do you understand access key? I mean, heat is also more in.
So excess key is a situation, as I told, See, we just have one protocol for excess key. That is no small intestine excess key.
Okay.
So this is a situation. And say the food goes and sits, it is not moving in the intestine. So that is the situation where we have excess key. And apart from that, we don't have excess keys. Okay. So generally, either we have excess heat, excess cold. What I'm trying to make is either one of this will be more. This is more or this is more.
Okay.
Both being more, the situation is less. So that is why we say, see, all the patterns that I have written here. So you will see fire is more. Okay, whenever there is situation is more. Okay. The situation where it is more. So this situations, yang deficiency, yin deficiency, and qi deficiency. All these three are clear, right? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now we will try
Yes,
to
sir.
get situation where something is more. So what is more? Whenever there is more, we don't say it in terms of, see, when something is less, we say it in terms of yang and yin. This is very important to understand. So either we say yang is deficient or yin is deficient or qi is deficient when something is less. But when something is more, what do we say? We don't tell it in terms of yang and yin, but we go to the specific element or the energy which is more. We say fire is more, or we say humidity is more, dampness in spleen. Dampness is humidity, excess humidity. So, or we say coldness is more, coldness in lungs or coldness in large intestine. Or we will say dryness is more, dryness of lungs, dryness of large intestine. Or when there is wind, okay, wind is more in liver, liver wind excess. So anything which is excess, we specifically say what is excess. And when something is deficient, we say holistically as yang is deficient or yin is deficient. We never say fire is deficient.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard kidney fire deficiency? Heart fire deficiency? Have you ever heard?
Sir. No.
Right? So you have always heard heart yang deficiency. You have never heard heart fire deficiency. Similarly, you have heard kidney yin deficiency, but you have not heard as kidney water deficiency or kidney coldness deficiency.
Right. Right.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
sir.
It is making sense.
Yes, you answered my question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
those who are in the junior semesters, for you you may find it difficult to understand what I am telling.
No, now it is clear, sir. Because at that time I was getting puzzled. What is this yang? Somewhere it is blazing, somewhere it is heat. I mean hotness. All these things. Yes, now it is clear.
You are in which semester, Sheetal?
First semester.
First semester. Okay. Okay. So you will understand a lot more in future semesters.
Something is less means we can say in the terms of the yin, yang, and qi deficiency. Like
yeah, when something is less, we say in terms of qi, yin, and yang. But when
something is more, then we can
more,
say in the terms of the elements.
We go into the individual elements. When something is more, you would have never heard say yang excess or kidney yin excess. Have you heard any of those kind of things?
No, sir.
Right. So it is always When something is more, we say in terms of individual elements and energies, and when something is less, we say in terms of holistic, Qi, Yin, Yang, or blood. Okay. I have not discussed.
And sir, you told about key axis in terms of SI, na?
That is only one difference. Generally, when something is stuck, the foot is not moving in the SI. So then only then we say key axis. Very rarely we have that.
So the complete detail we will get in treatise this 7, na, about these things. Maybe
you will have information in treatises when you, I can say you will have information in different treatises. When you ask me complete information, no, I cannot. See, in book there is information, but it is not presented in the way that I am presenting. The presentations would be different. So if a different professor takes, their presentations are different, no?
Excellent presentations with analogy, and you told each and every thing. It's very conceptual way.
Sir?
Thank you a lot for this.
You are in which semester, Grahavardhan?
Sir, first semester just passed, and now I'm in 4th semester entering.
You are in 4th semester, entering 4th?
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, one more doubt, sir.
Very clear, sir.
Achha.
Very clearly understood, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, somebody has something else to ask.
Sir, just now you had shown a diagram in that normal, deficiency, sinking and collapsing. You had just shown the diagram, na, sir? Yeah, in this, what is less? I mean, the water content is less, or?
Here it is key. Key as a whole.
Okay.
See, it is, let's say, this is normal situation as a key, and this is deficiency, and this is sinking, and this is collapsing. The yin yang ratio remains the same.
Okay.
So when the yin yang ratio varies, so instead of 50-50, it becomes 60-40 or 70-30. So that kind of variation, when it comes, then the yang and yin will become different. So they will feel either more hot, more cold, and all those things.
But here they'll not feel anything, na, sir?
See, they won't feel the difference in temperature, but they will become more and more weak. So it is the weakness will start increasing. Okay. So but the variation in temperature feeling will not be there. Okay.
Okay.
Because this is key, the whole energy, not the subdivision within the key. So let's say somebody is having say this is normal, and somebody's situation is I'll once again write the key deficiency, and then I will get to say somebody is having Yin deficiency, key deficiency, normal. So if somebody is having Yin deficiency and you give so say those who are in first and second semester, no, ignore this. No, it is only for those who are in higher semesters. So some things, those are in first and second semester, you may not understand everything. So just ignore those things which you don't understand and only grasp or take in what you are understanding. But later on, you will understand. Say if somebody is in Yin deficiency situation, will you give, if you give key deficiency protocol, will it suit them?
No, sir.
Why?
Maybe it's a yang deficiency. Key
See,
deficiency
somebody is
includes
giving,
both.
huh?
The key deficiency may result the yin deficiency and yang deficiency. So in particular particular this case, yin deficiency, we have to follow the protocol of yin deficiency.
See, okay. So I will explain this. Say now, what are you trying to do when somebody is in yin deficiency? Say somebody is in key deficiency and you are trying to give key deficiency. What are you trying to do? You are trying to increase this.
Right.
So it will increase
Tone.
as per the ratio. As per the ratio, it will try to increase. How do I write it? So it will try to retain the ratio. Okay. But when somebody is in yin deficiency and then you try to increase ki, so it will try to increase in the same ratio. So what will happen to the imbalance level? The imbalance will also increase, right? So now in yin deficiency, the yin and yang imbalance is out of balance. Okay. So when you increase the ki, the imbalance will also try to increase. So it will not suit. So what is that you have to do? You have to first bring it into balance. So first you have to bring it into balance by giving yin deficiency protocol and then increase the ki. So first you will have to give. So first you have to give yin deficiency. Then you have to give, once the balance is restored, then you have to give key deficiency. Okay. Understood the logic?
Yes, sir.
Anybody who did not understand?
So in this case, first we have to apply the yin deficiency protocol and then key deficiency protocol, right?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes. So even if there is a yang deficiency, first we have to give yang deficiency and then give key deficiency.
So can we apply the yin deficiency and key deficiency protocol simultaneously to the patient?
No.
Is it work?
How can you apply? In yin, what are we trying to do? When we give yin deficiency, what are we trying to do? When say this is normal, this is key deficiency. So when we give, let's say, yin deficiency, we are trying to move the patient from this situation to this situation. And once the person comes to this situation, then we move this patient from this situation to this situation, which is the normal. Okay. So it is backward movement. Clear? Grahavardhan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think we are coming close to the end of class. So if you don't have any question, did you all like today's class?
Yes,
Excellent,
sir.
sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir. It was really excellent.
Sir. Yes. Fine, sir.
Fine.
Thank you very much, sir. Very good explanation. You made us easy. Yin Yang theory and the deficiencies.
Thank you.
Pass on the message in your groups and invite people to attend.
Okay,
See,
sir.
this kind of clarity, very few people can give in India. That's one among them is Krishnamurti, sir.
I
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right.
I endorse you. Very nicely explained. I attended so
Yeah.
many classes, but it was very nicely explained.
Yeah. So on behalf of every one of you, I expect my grateful thanks to Krishnamurti for having conducted this class in an excellent manner.